Hi guys, you might remember a while ago I showed a render of this scene. It's an alien abduction scene, and it came out really horribly when I rendered it. This is what I got when I rendered it. In particular, this is low resolution with post FX on, but in particular, this woman that I was very unhappy with. And I tried increasing the number of render samples, and you can see I'm still getting this kind of glossiness and this facial distortion. And I was concerned. I didn't seem to be able to get this to render any good, and a number of you offered some solutions. So one solution came up in particular. I was rendering on this level, adaptive sampling with a level of 0.1. And what had happened is I used the optics fast preset. Then I changed this value without noticing this value here. And now I never mess with this value, and I don't use presets generally. I have my own presets. So this value was way too high at 0.1. So you guys were correct. Thank you very much indeed. If I change this to fast, see that goes 0.001, so an order of magnitude of 100 times finer. The other thing which Charles Taylor at tech support at Bondware suggested was that there was a problem with the specularity, a change in specularity, which again I pursued. And let me see. So this is the render with that that pixel sample level set a lot smaller. The adaptive sampling set 100 times finer, but this is the level with specularity turned off on that figure, which, as you can see, has pretty much fixed it. Now, another one of you guys suggested not using post FX, and I'm going to make a short video about that in a minute. This is post FX turned off, but with a setting of a sampling of 100. Now, I just want you to have a look at something here. So this is a comparison, the figure that I'm using in that scene. So this is Victoria 4 with a texture called Columbia. And in Firefly, Columbia renders just fine. But and she was presumably created for Firefly. But in Poser, we get something in Superfly, we get something very weird. Now that often happens with a bit of specularity. So what we have here. So here's those four figures. We've got Columbia texture on these three with different settings for the blend setting, and then this is just a standard elite texture. So this is how they render straight out the box on Superfly, this character, and you can see that's ridiculously shiny. Then this character is using Easy Skin with only procedurals setting, and as you can see, it's still shiny, but it's not ridiculous like this. And then on this setting, I've gone in and manually turned blend off completely, so I probably want to turn it up a little bit. But the interesting thing is, if I go into here on the material room, pick up her torso, you'll see here that the blend, even if I turn that reflectivity, so the default on this character is 0.65. If I turn that down to 0.001, it's still too shiny for the scene. So whatever they've done to the specularity on this version, Charles said that they're fixing a problem where it was set too high before, but this seems to me to be ridiculously much too low. I don't know, but that is a solution anyway. So if you get figures that just a crazy shiny like this one, you're going to need to go into the material room and have a look at their values here. So it could be Blinn, but it could be any of the other alternate specular plugins. So down here, where are we? Excuse me. It could be any of those. It could be anisotropic, Blinn, glossy, microfacet, Fong, or specular, and they all have the value set too high. So you're going to manually have to create a new texture, and then once you've done that, you can just save that as a new material, which I have done. So thanks very much, guys, for your feedback. The problem is now resolved, and yeah, it was a bit of a comedy of errors, because on the one hand it was the way that I had accidentally set the render settings without realizing I'd done it, but also it was the fact that this one character, none of my other characters does it, but this one character's skin uses Blinn, and I don't even know why, because if you look down here, it's not even as if it's adding shine to this skin, but they used Blinn, and it just created that ridiculous shininess. So again, thank you very much, guys.